Welcome in, everybody, to the Wiregrass High School Football Report. I'm your host, Phillip Jordan, in-studio host and producer of Dustin Woods Football on 96.9 The Legend, and also cover the Auburn Tigers for the Auburn Wire, part of USA Today. And this is your look at all things high school football in the Wiregrass. We got a fun show planned for you guys today. We're going to go over all the results, not just locally, but just throughout the whole state, with the Alabama High School Athletic Association playoffs and the AISA playoffs as well. And we got a great guest. We'll be joined by Abbeville Christian head coach Stefon Gainey. They advanced to the championship game for this Thursday in AISA AA, with Abbeville Christian defeating Wilcox Academy 16-8 to now play South Choctaw Academy this Thursday. We'll talk about the win on Thursday night in the semifinals. Just when did Coach Gainey know this team could be special? And also we'll talk about the matchup for the state championship game. And as I said, we will go through all the results. What happened with the 2A Region 2 teams in the Wiregrass and Andalusia. And once again, we'll go over all the scores from the playoff action and give you a schedule of games, how the next round looks coming up this week in high school football here in the state of Alabama. Before we do all that, let you guys know you can find me and the podcast. Find me on social media at PJordan Sports. Find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also check out the show over on YouTube at the Phillip Jordan Sports YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for all notifications, and please leave a comment on the video. And I'll also read those on a future edition as well. You can always email me at sportstalkphillipjordan@gmail.com. All right, so we're going to start off looking at what happened in 2A in the playoffs. And last week, all the 2A Region 2 teams won. Cottonwood, Providence Christian, Ayrton, and GW Long. Well, this week, not the same fortunes, as 3 of the 4 were defeated in the second round of the playoffs. We're going to start with the winner. Providence Christian defeated Lochapoka 17-14 in overtime, and now has Providence Christian at 9-3 on the year. Providence Christian with a big interception in overtime to seal the victory. They forced 4 turnovers against Lochapoka in this one, and Henry Parsons had the field goal in overtime that eventually was the game-winning score there for Providence Christian. Lynette defeated Ayrton 34-14, so Ayrton's season ends at 9-2. They trailed 21-14 at halftime. They did have a big game on defense from Gabe Jones, who had 17 tackles and 4 TFLs. Laverne defeated GW Long 29-0. Laverne stays at 12-0 on the year, and GW Long ends their season at 7-5. And then Reeltown defeated Cottonwood 63-28. Cottonwood ends the year with 7 wins. This is the third straight year the Cottonwood Bears have lost to Reeltown in the playoffs. There's a long playoff history between Cottonwood and Reeltown. Cottonwood actually led this game 22-8 in the second quarter, for Reeltown scored 42 straight points. Their quarterback, Jamarcus Smith, was 14 of 18 for 360 and 5 touchdowns. He had a big second half there. So Cottonwood, as I said, ends their season on a 7-win season, but terrific seasons for all those teams making the playoffs. Cottonwood winning another region championship there under Coach Harrison. Now, looking at the rest of 2A, the results in the 2A playoffs: Coosa Christian defeated Lexington 49-16. Pittsburgh defeated Vincent 44-33. Southeastern defeated Red Bay 28-21. And Tuscaloosa Academy defeated Pleasant Valley 23-13. And now looking at the bracket as they now head into the quarterfinals of the 2A playoffs, you'll have Lynette playing at Laverne. Reeltown will be at Providence Christian, so Providence again, team here in the area still playing. Pittsburgh will be at Southeastern, and Tuscaloosa Academy will be at Coosa Christian. Now we'll jump over to 5A Region 2, where we had one team there still in our kind of listening area, our coverage area here at the Wiregrass High School Football Report. Central Clay County defeated Andalusia 21-2, and Andalusia ends their season at 8-4. The rest of the scores in 5A: Briarwood defeated Russellville 42-7. Catholic Montgomery beat Shelby County 38-15. Fairview defeated Jacksonville 28-13. Moody defeated Priceville 60-14. Scottsboro defeated St. Clair County 42-6. Viger defeated Northside 49-28, and Williamson defeated Elmore County 42-14. Then in the 5A bracket, In the quarterfinals, we'll have Central Clay County will be at Viger, Williamson will be at Catholic Montgomery, Scottsboro will be at Fairview, and then Briarwood will be at Moody. And kind of wrapping up with the brackets involving teams in the Wiregrass, and I mentioned this earlier, Abbeville Christian defeated Wilcox Academy 16-8, and South Choctaw Academy upset number 1 Patricia Academy 40-14 in the AISA AA playoff bracket, which now on Thursday at 3:30 you will get Abbeville Christian versus South Choctaw Academy there at the Cranton Bowl. Looking at the rest of AISA, you had Chambers Academy defeated Southern Academy 53-22, and Lowndes Academy defeating Banks Academy 41-14. So in the AAA bracket there in AISA, you'll have Chambers Academy playing Lowndes Academy. And then in the other one, in the single A bracket of AISA, Macon East Academy defeated Evangel Christian Academy 36-6, and Escambia Academy defeated Cornerstone Christian 27-14 to make a matchup between Macon East and Escambia Academy for that state championship. All right, so now we're going to play a conversation I had with Coach Stefon Gainey, the head coach over at Abbeville Christian. Go about 15, a little bit more than that, minutes in the interview. Great stuff. We'll talk about their win on Thursday night. We'll also talk about when did he find that this team was special? What point of the season did he see something different with this team? And also we'll talk about the state championship game coming up this Thursday. And then after that, we'll wrap up the show with looking at the rest of some scores in the playoffs around the state of Alabama.
Everybody joining me on the show today is Abbeville Christian Academy head coach of the Generals, Stefon Gainey. And Coach Gainey, congratulations on the win on Thursday night, advancing to the state championship game in AISA AA. But appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely glad for you to have me, and it's my honor to be on. Thanks for thinking of us, and huge win last Thursday, hard fought ball game. Hats off to Wilcox Academy, man. They played hard. We tried to deliver a knockout blow, and they just kept coming. So, but ultimately glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just team won 16-8, jumped out 16-0 there in the first quarter, and defense came up big several times in the game for you guys too. Just what was just your overall thoughts on the win from Thursday night?
Well, like you said, we got off to a hot start, and things looked like they were going to be rolling for us tonight, but in true playoff team fashion, Wilcox responded. We did some things uncharacteristic to what we usually do offensively, and I won't say really took our foot off the gas, but kind of shot ourselves in the foot. And Wilcox, we hung around, and Wilcox scored and made it a game. And you're right, defensively, we seem to be clicking a lot better there overall than what we were in the second half offensively. So I made the call that we were going to ride our defense, especially being up 8 points. My philosophy or my thought process later on in the game about the fourth quarter was we're up basically 2 scores. So, you have scored a touchdown and you'll have to score a 2-point conversion just to tie us. So we played a turnover-free ball up until that point. And, really their turnover ended up being the difference in the game. So, I just rode the hand that I thought was hot. And then, like you said, that was defensively. Several fourth and inches stops, just huge. So proud of the boys.
And I know in the first quarter there, Rich Crawford, a receiver, scored a touchdown for you. I see called a receiving touchdown as well. Just talk about his performance on Thursday night.
So, the kid's a sophomore. The kid has one of those motors that he just doesn't get tired. If you ever had to discipline him, it probably wouldn't be a good thing to make him run because you'll probably get tired before he does, So he's one of those kids where if you ever needed to discipline him, probably just let him pick up some trash around the stadium or something. So, but that's how he plays. His motor is high, very shifty. He's to be a sophomore on a team of 8 seniors, he's definitely a huge cog in what we do. Obviously, with him scoring both of our touchdowns, one rushing and one one receiving. Can't talk enough about him. Great guy. Wiregrass loves the game of football. The highest compliment I can give a football player is this right here. He's a football player. So.
Yeah, so that's always a good thing when you hear coaches say that.
Yeah.
And then between the two scores there, when y'all went up 16-0, big play by Ahmad Billings, forced the fumble on Julian Curry, a really good running back they have there at Wilcox Academy. Talk about just that moment. And of course, you guys turn around and capitalize on it and score off those points.
Right. When you look at the ebb and flow of the game, that ended up being the difference because they had a little bit of momentum in that drive. First of all, let me go back and say what a player that young man is. They call him Juju. And I didn't know him. Obviously, this is my first year in the AISA, but I heard he's a pretty good basketball player, pretty good in track. He kind of wins in everything he does. And, man, I saw that firsthand. He keeps his feet moving. He has some real deceptive speed. But what a play for Ahmad to kind of get out there and finish the drill that we do and poke the ball out. You love when you see the drill go to the field, is what I say. And, ultimately that ended up being what I call maybe the play of the game, and you don't even know it. That's early in the first quarter because we did not turn the ball over any. They only had one. We got that turnover and scored. And, look at the score of the game, 16-8. So that was the early indicator of how the game was going to play out, and you didn't even know it. So heck of a play by Ahmad Bill.
Yeah, football, especially, this being a coach, but playoff football, it's like every possession matters. They're important in regular season, but it's just like it's even more, I wouldn't say exaggerated, but it's just more important each possession, and just getting that extra possession, you guys, seem to be huge. Yeah,
the margin for error is much more slim. Everything is magnified because, like I said, Wilcox obviously made it to that game for a reason. They're a good team. Mm-hmm. They do something really well. So, when you don't do things well, the other team is doing what they do well. You don't make it this far without being special somewhere. So, hats off to them again. And, same with, any other team that's going forward this deep in the playoff run.
So, up 16-0 because they didn't score until the third quarter there. Before halftime, they get all the way inside the 5. Again, Billings made a big stop there before halftime. Just that was probably a chance for them to gain some momentum, but you guys kind of stopped that. You took some momentum yourself into halftime.
That was a big crucial. You might as well just call it a goal line stand because they ended up, I think we got an incidental face mask somewhere, ended up inside the 5 maybe. And to be able to stop them a couple times down there, and then they decided to try to get outside on us. And, Ahmad, who's a corner, came downhill and set the point, as we call it, and shrunk the sideline and made an amazing tackle. That's what you want to see out of your DBs. Some DBs shy away from doing that, and he certainly didn't. Jaden Buckhannon is our other defensive back. He did a great job. And obviously Ridge coming from safety. We encourage all of our corners to when it's time to come up and lay a hat. And he did that, and that ended up being very timely. Like I said, Juju has been able to get the edge on a lot of teams, and for the most part, we were able to keep him inside.
Yeah, because then you did it again at the end of the game. Stopped them inside the 10 there to give you guys a win.
Absolutely. What a great moment for the defense to finish the game for us. They try to hit Juju on a little wheel route. We decided to send some pressure because we wanted to speed up. Whatever they wanted to do, we wanted to speed it up and make it go fast. So we decided to send some timely pressure off the backside. So they had to throw that wheel route probably, I'm sure, 8 yards shorter than what they wanted to, because I imagine they wanted that thing to at least get to the end zone. But he had to get it out of his hands. So, credit to Trayvon and Mulkey for heating him up, and John Sowell and Jaden Buckhannon for finishing the sure-handed tackle, because, he's not easy to bring down. So I didn't breathe until the referee blew the whistle. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure. And just kind of before we jump into the championship game, of course, you guys are focused and locked in on that. Still got one more game to go. But just for this team overall, during the year, or maybe it was before the season, when did you know this team had a chance to be special?
Well, I don't know when I knew. I won't say I knew, but we went to Troy University 7-on-7 camp. And I know, football is played with pads on, but we went to the 7-on-7, and we defeated Reeltown, Houston County, Woodlawn. We made it all the way to the championship game and lost to Auburn High School. And, I kind of look back then, the way they competed, the way they hung out with each other, the way they came off the bus ready to play, because we didn't know. We had not faced any competition from a team standpoint with the new guys that came in with Ahmad and D and RJ, and then a couple guys that didn't play last year that were from Headland. So we went up to Troy not knowing how they were going to jail when things got tough or when things were good, and then we ended up coming in second and beat some pretty great teams, I would say. So at that point, I figured at least we had a shot to become a team. And I figured out that we may be pretty special somewhere around the middle of the season when we went up to Hope Christian and we returned a couple kicks and just kind of handled that long 3-hour trip like professionals. Mm-hmm. And I said, maybe we can do it. We just beat a really good Morgan Academy team from the West. And I said it was somewhere around mid-season. I said, okay, if the injury bug can stay away and, we can hold up, we might be able to make a run at this thing.
It's got to be great, too, because, before you came in, the team got the state championship game in 2020, but 9 wins over the next 4 years, and then coming around and then the team performing like they have this year now, a game away from a state championship.
Yeah, no one really saw that coming, and when I agreed to take this job, I said it in the paper, I quoted, I said, well, there's some success in the soil. And I say that now because Abbeville Christian does have 2 state championships. And so that lets you know that there was some winning going on here at some point in time. The basketball team has been to the state championship game back-to-back years. They fell short by 2 points 2 years ago, 2 or 3 points, and 5 points last year. So there's some people who understand what success is here. So I decided to, jump and take a risk and come on over and just kind of tap in to some things and fix some things culturally, challenge them. And here's how we responded. That's my small portion of it. Coaching the coaches, getting the right staff. Can't say enough about my staff. But ultimately, the boys deciding to listen to it and believe in it and going to execute has been the biggest testimony. And shout out to them. Shout out to the boys for wanting to do it. Because football really comes down to want to a lot of times as well. Do you want to? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, of course, looking, to Thursday. And before we get into just the matchup with South Choctaw Academy, what's the week look like for you guys? I know y'all just played on Thursday, so you're used to the Thursday part, but now it's traveling to Montgomery.
Yeah. So we just came out of a coaches meeting. We brought the boys in tonight to just kind of, get some things done after church. So that's about to happen, just so we can kind of get a day back to each other, nothing really physical or on the field. But we figure we need to come and get that one day that we're going to miss back, talk about logistics and just some things that we need to do to have a smooth transition into playing at the Crimson Bowl on Thursday at 3:30. That's another thing. These I haven't had a 3:30 kickoff since I left college. So that'll be a little different. So we got an itinerary down. We want to stay on schedule as much as possible so it can seem normal. We go down and probably practice at Rip Hughes Stadium either Monday or Tuesday, just to get back on turf. God did bless us with a turf game. The first game of the season we played at FAMU's stadium. So, maybe that was God blessing us early, saying that, hey, I'm going to give you this game in this huge stadium with this huge jumbotron to get you ready for the ending. So we started in the collegiate stadium, and we're going to end it in the collegiate stadium. So that's big. Other than that, everything else is going to pretty much stay on schedule. We'll eat at the same time as far as how many hours it is before the game. So everything is just pushed up a little bit, so our bodies are just kind of used to doing the same thing, other than it being a 3:30 kickoff.
I guess good thing with the 3:30 won't be late when y'all get back home on Thursday night. And talking about the South Choctaw Academy, they defeated Patrician 40-14, who was the number one team in the semifinals. I think they got a good running back, Cade Carroll. I think he's got over 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns this year. When you've seen this, for everybody listening, whenever you're listening to this podcast, we recorded this on Sunday evening. But from what you've seen on film, what sticks out about South Choctaw Academy?
They are gritty. They believe in what they do. They're not really worried about so much the outcome, and you can tell they're more worried about execution in the process. They just believe if they do the right things the right way continuously, something good is going to happen eventually on the play. They don't seem to get too down when things don't go their way, and that says a lot. Obviously they're the defending champions, so they have a lot of confidence. They played at the Crampton Bowl last year. So, the edge kind of goes to them right now as far as probably understanding what the preparation looks like at the Crampton Bowl. But, kudos to our guys, too. They get a chance to do something new, something fresh. So, tough team. Obviously, Mr. Stacy Luker is over 250-something wins, I think, is what I saw written. You don't get that many wins without knowing a little ball. So he definitely knows his stuff. Just a solid overall team that we're gonna have to pack our lunch pail to stop them from doing what they do, or at least slow them down. I look forward to a great matchup.
Absolutely, I know I'm going to be keeping up with it on Thursday. And Coach, appreciate it. Good luck on Thursday. Good luck to your team. I hope y'all bring back a state championship, and I appreciate you coming on. And actually, before I let you go, just anything else you want to say about your team before we close out this interview?
Well, I just want to tell the world that I love this team because they decided to come in and be a brotherhood. When you look at our team, they're from all different, obviously, cultures or, financial backgrounds, ethnicity. Someone told me that, heaven needs to look like a locker room. And, that's one thing I'm glad about, that our guys decided to come in and bond together and become a team or become a family. There's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with having different wants and likes and dislikes. But, man, when you enter that locker room and you become one, it's a beautiful thing. So to watch my team unite behind something and have a common goal and go at it is beautiful, not just from the football standpoint, just from how we should be as, how we should live our lives with everyone. So it's been a pleasure to see that in my boys, and, for all the parents or parents of athletes that are out there, that's what we hope to teach more than anything, because the football will go flat one day. But, these are our future leaders, doctors, lawyers, preachers, uncles, aunties. They're going to go pro at life. So we got to make sure they're prepared for that. And if we can use the game to do that, I'm excited. And this team has done that. But winning a few ball games along the way doesn't hurt either.
Absolutely. But once again, Coach, I appreciate the time. I know it's busy getting the team ready to go play for a state championship. But I appreciate you taking the time out to come here on the podcast. And once again, good luck on Thursday. And like I said just a few moments ago, hope you guys are able to bring back that state championship.
Hey, I appreciate it. Go Generals.
All right, once again, thanks to Coach Gainey for coming on the show. A lot of fun talking with him, and I hope Abbeville Christian's able to bring home the state championship on Thursday. And I hope we can talk about that on next week's show. Now, I want to look at just what happened in the rest of the state in the playoffs. Usually on the show in the past years doing this, I've always just focused on the scores of Wiregrass teams. When it comes to postseason, we're going to look at a little bit of everything here going on in the state of Alabama. All right, so we're going to start off with 7A. Thompson defeated Mary Montgomery 54-0, and Central Phoenix City defeated Fairhope 34-15. And then Auburn defeated Daphne 40-0, and Opelika defeated Baker 35-9. So that will set up matchups in the semifinals this Friday. Thompson will go to Central Phoenix City, and Opelika will travel to Auburn. And when you look at the 7A playoff, 3 of the 4 remaining teams left were from 7A, Region 2. All right, now we're going to look at the 6A playoffs, and now they're going into the quarterfinals, of course, as everybody is, except for 7A. You had in the south part of the bracket, Benjamin Russell defeated Theodore 21-14. Hueytown defeated Russell County 49-29. Pike Road defeated Bessemer City 28-6. And Saraland defeated Spain Park in a good one, 35-31. In the north side of the bracket, Muscle Shoals defeated Parker 17-14. Mountain Brook defeated Fort Payne 35-14. Clay Chalkville defeated Gaston City 44-7. And then Homewood defeated Hartselle 31-24. And that sets up quarterfinal matchups. Hueytown will be at Benjamin Russell. Saraland will be at Pike Road. Muscle Shoals will be at Mountain Brook. And Homewood will be at Clay Chalkville. All right, now jumping into 4A, Jackson defeated Hanley on the road 42-28. And then W.S. Neal defeated American Christian 35-7. Bullitt County defeated Mobile Christian 21-0. And then Pleasant Grove played St. Michael. St. Michael won that one 41-7. Now in the north, in 4A, you had Good Hope defeat West Morgan 31-7. Plainview defeated Alexandria 42-14. Anniston defeated Madison Academy 44-12. And Deshler defeated Hamilton 31-30. Really good one there. So in the quarterfinals on Friday, you'll have W.S. Neal at Jackson, Bullitt County at St. Michael, Plainville at Good Hope, and Anniston will play at Deshler. In 3A, starting in the south, Southside Selma defeated Cottage Hill Christian 39-22. Glenwood School defeated Trinity 40-7. Montgomery Academy defeated Lee Scott Academy 38-0. And then Randolph County lost to Bayside Academy 47-7. In the north, Mars Hill defeated Winfield 42-6. Geraldine defeated Westbrook Christian 31-15. Piedmont defeated Fife 36-0. And Gordo defeated Colbert County 49-29. So matchups in the quarterfinals in 3A, you will have Glenwood School at Southside Selma. Montgomery Academy will be at Bayside Academy. Geraldine will be at Mars Hill. And Gordo will be at Piedmont. All right, and finally we'll jump into 1A. In the south, Southern Choctaw defeated University Charter 26-12. McIntosh lost to Maplesville 48-0. McKenzie defeated Autauga Academy 52-20. And then Leroy defeated Linden 40-22. In the north, Addison defeated Berry Fayette 39-6. Marion County defeated Appalachian 28-13. Wadley defeated Meek 52-6. And then Hubertsville defeated Hackleburg 42-6. So in the quarterfinals in 1A in the south, it will be Southern Choctaw at Maplesville, and then Leroy will be at McKenzie. And then in the north, you'll have Addison at Marion County, and then Wadley will host Hubertville in that one. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Wiregrass High School Football Report. Be back next week. Actually, no. Let's scratch that. A little programming note. Have a bonus conversation come to you later on in the week. It will be high school football related, but not necessarily Wiregrass. But has a Wiregrass connection to an extent. But we'll have a bonus episode of the podcast later in the week, kind of looking at one of the other teams, bigger teams outside of the Wiregrass in high school football. So be looking forward to that later on in the week. I'm going to get out of here. Remember, you can follow me on social media at P. Jordan Sports. You can check out the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Also on YouTube at the Phillip Jordan Sports YouTube channel. And also, you can email me at sports.phillipjordan@gmail.com. Hey, we still got two teams playing. We got Abbeville Christian playing for a state championship on Thursday. And then, of course, we have Providence Christian playing in the quarterfinals, hosting Reeltown on Friday night. So still stuff to discuss next week. And, hey, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep the show rolling through the state championship games, and the show will continue on into 2026 in the off season as well. All right, everybody. Till next time. Bye-bye.